morning. I'm so glad all of you are here. And okay. My name is Carol Winokur. I am a practitioner here at the North Hollywood Church, and I'm delighted that you have joined us today in this lovely weather we're having, and safely on Zoom, Facebook Live, and YouTube. How about that? If you are live streaming this service today, please enter your location into the chat so we can see where you're watching us from. And for those of you who are here in person, please take a moment to silence your cell phones. Thank you. So join me in prayer now, will you? As I know, I take in a deep breath and know and absolutely know that there is only one life, one presence. It's a power that is beyond my imagination, and it is also closer than my hands and feet. It is that which we are. It is that which infuses all that we do. It is that energy that we are breathing. It is that substance that our bodies are made of. It's that power that holds the planets in place. It is absolutely infusing everything that we do here today with its grace, its love, its harmony. I know that everyone present here and everyone watching us is absolutely a perfect, unique expression of this one life, manifesting as love, creativity, intelligence, and harmony. And that all good flows from all that we do because we set the intention to make this a divine time, to allow that spirit to flow through all that we are and all that we do. I know that we are blessed by our musicians and our soloists who provide us with that delightful musical inspiration. We are truly blessed by all those who give of their time to make this service possible. And I know today we are especially blessed by our guest speaker, Reverend Dr. Patrick, who is here today as an open vessel for divine word to come through him to us for the perfect message. Each and every one of us hears exactly what we need to hear. And I know he speaks with his grace and eloquence and clarity, and it is a gift to all of us. So I say thank you for that. Thank you for this time. Thank you for everyone here in our church community. Knowing that we are divinely blessed already, I release this word to the law of mind. I know it's done, and I let it be so. And so it is. Together we say, Amen.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. The face of God. You are the face of God.
Please stand and join me in the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, And forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
Please remain standing for our congregational song, Surely the Presence. 1, 2, 3. Surely the presence of love is in this place. I can feel its mighty power and its grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of love is in this place. Surely the presence of peace is in this place. I can feel its mighty power and its grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of peace is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel its mighty power and its grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
Please be seated. And as we settle in, let's take a moment to welcome our live streamers. Everybody wave to the camera over there where Terry's standing. And let's take a moment to recognize all of us here in the sanctuary with a loving namaste or a wave and a smile. So now we're going to meditate for 5 minutes. I invite you to close your eyes and silently repeat the mantra, God's the love that I am. If your mind wanders, which it may, just bring it back to silently repeating, God's the love that I am, and I will bring us out of our meditation in 5 minutes.
time for climbing hills, for leaning out of windowsills, admiring the daffodils above. A time for holding hands together, a time for rainbow colored weather, a time for make-believe that we've been dreaming of. As time goes drifting by, the willow bends, and so do I. But oh, my friends, whatever sky above, I've known a time for spring, a time for fall, but most of all, a time for love. A time for holding hands together, a time for rainbow colored weather, a time for make-believe that we've been dreaming of. As time goes drifting by, the willow bends, and so do I. But oh, my friends, whatever sky above, I've known a time for spring, a time for fall, but best of all, a time for
Good morning. I'm back. It actually took something really, really major for me to want to give up my just show up on Sunday and soak in the message of the community and the music and the experience and say, oh, I'm retired now. I get to enjoy it from this place. But the something special that brought me out of retirement and back up here for a moment is our very, very special guest speaker who has a very special place in my heart. For those who don't know, Reverend Dr. Patrick has been my spiritual coach for over 15 years, if you can believe that. He's very good. I'm just a slow learner. But I'm delighted to be able to introduce him to you today. So, Reverend Dr. Patrick Harbula has been a spiritual leader, counselor, and coach for over 35 years and reaches hundreds of thousands with his writing and personal and media appearances. Patrick is author of The Magic of the Soul, Applying Spiritual Power in Daily Living, which is the book that drew me to him, and which is part of our Centers for Spiritual Living curriculum. Journey of the Soul, and the recently released book by St. Martin's Press, Meditation, the Simple and Practical. I was looking saying preferred? No, it's practical. That's not what my copy says. The Simple and Practical Way. He's founder of the Living Purpose Institute and creator of the Life Coaching Certification Program and the Primal Fire Intensive on Catalina Island. He is the founding executive editor of Meditation Magazine. Patrick will be available after the service to sign his books. And today, he's speaking on radical gratitude and entrance into the sacred. So, it's my pleasure to ask you all to please welcome Reverend Dr. Patrick Harbula.
Wow, that was fun. How about these guys? It's so good to be back. I'm amazed that even this many people came out. So, how many people here, by a show of hands, have anything at all that you're grateful for? Anyone? All right, it's unanimous. I want to hear about it. I want to hear what it is. Call it out. What are you grateful for? One at a time if you can. Health. Family. Financial abundance. What was that? Connection to God. Chocolate. I think we're all agreed. I'll tell you what I'm grateful for. I'm grateful to be here, to be back. I'm grateful that this many people came out. Do you know that the last time I spoke here, I spoke to 8 people. It was at the height of a global pandemic. So apparently I only show up when there is major catastrophes going on. So it's not me, though. I'm sure it's not me. Okay, so I want to, now I believe everyone's got gratitude, but I want to feel the energy of it. So if you're willing and able, here and at home, feel free to do this too. Stand up, and we're going to say yes, 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 and pump our fists 3 times in the air on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, yes, yes, yes. Doesn't that feel good? Yes. Of course it does. All right, you can sit down or stay standing or dance in the aisles, whatever will bring you joy. So, have you ever had the experience where you give somebody a gift, and maybe it's not even something you thought about that much, but you just thought, oh, this might be a nice thing for this person. You give that gift to the person, and they light up like the sun with gratitude. Isn't that the best, one of the best feelings in the world, to be the recipient of that kind of gratitude? Doesn't it want to make you give that person more stuff because it feels so good, right? So guess what? The universal presence is the same way. The universal presence, the more we say yes to our joys in life, the more the universal presence wants to throw more good upon us. Yes? Yes. Right on. So, and have you ever had the experience where somebody has something they don't want? Well, maybe you give a gift to somebody and they get that crooked smile on their face and say, just what I always wanted, right? Want to give that person more stuff? Probably not as much. So, but if somebody gets something that they're not expecting that is something they don't want, a big challenge in life, and they say yes to it because they're finding something of value in it, isn't that inspiring? You know, we're talking about, the title is Radical Gratitude, an entrance into the sacred, so that saying yes to what we really love is regular old gratitude. Here's radical gratitude. Anyone have anything in your life that has been challenging over the last year, let's say? Anyone all challenging, difficult, painful? Anyone? Okay, I think we're about unanimous again. So, of those people who just raised your hands, how many people, in retrospect, are grateful for that situation? Okay, so you people are crazy. Some people might say, right? Why would anyone be grateful for something that's challenging, difficult, or painful? What's that? Okay. Right on. So, I'll tell you about the challenging situation in my life. So, when I was writing The Magic of the Soul, originally it was to be a book about how to manifest what you want from the magic of your soul. And I thought I was pretty good at manifestation, by the way. I had a wonderful corporate career at the time. I had a marriage of 13 years. It was going well. I was in physically great shape. I was a tennis pro in my 20s, martial artist in my 30s. I was 40 years old, and a funny thing happened on the way to the magic of the soul. Everything fell apart. I became chronically ill. The marriage of 13 years ended. My corporate job went away. It seemed like everything that I was identified with on a personal level and an egoic level was stripped away. And so what happened was, at some point, I decided, and by the way, I'm resisting this situation all the way through it, resisting the symptoms. I couldn't get out of bed sometimes for weeks at a time. And I was doing everything I could to heal it, right? I was doing the traditional route, went to Mayo Clinic, no diagnosis for 3 years. Did everything metaphysical, spiritual mind treatment, energy healing, hyperbaric oxygen chambers. I mean, everything I could think of. Nothing was changing the apparent reality. So at some point, and by the way, a little side note, my father died at 42, 2 years later than my age at the time, of cancer that hadn't been diagnosed for many years. And so I thought, at one point I thought, you know what? It seems like the proverbial writing may be on the wall, that I won't be long for this life. So I decided in that moment, if I am to die from what's happening, this experience, I am going to use dying as an opportunity to understand who I am as a spiritual being at the deepest level possible. Guess what happened? Here I stand. I started to heal, but it was not a direct line of healing. What happened was actually cyclical. What would happen is I would surrender into it, because that was the difference. The opposite of resistance is surrender. I would surrender into it to find the magic in the experience, and I'd start to feel better. And then I'd go outside and go for a walk or do something I used to do, and that would put me back in bed. And then I would resist, because it felt so much better just to have a little bit of energy back. And then I remember, oh, it was that surrendering thing that got me feeling better. So I'd surrender, and then I'd feel better, and then this would go in cycles. It was as though not as though, it was my soul creating the absolute perfect experience for me to learn how to be in a consistent, or at least relatively consistent state of surrender. So I'd like to ask the question, what is your life like in a consistent state of surrender? You know, as spiritual beings, we tend to, conscious beings, we tend to look back at those most challenging times in our life, the people who raise their hands, and see that there was some blessing in this, right? But usually when something really dramatic comes along, we resist it in the beginning, right? So the message that of the magic of the soul, the message that it became, actually shifted from, yes, it's magical to create what you want, but it's even more magical to appreciate what we have. And not only the things that bring us joy, but especially the things that challenge us the most, right? And so, so the book then took on this new message. And I absolutely know it would not have become the book that it became if it was not for this experience that I was having. It wouldn't have become curriculum for our centers. It wouldn't be a best-selling book. It didn't have as deep a message if not for this experience. I like to quote Suzanne Summers. Anyone remember Suzanne Summers? My generation does. Three's Company, or more recently, Thigh Master. So she was one of the people, I don't know if you remember, several years ago when we had the Malibu fires, super fires. Hers was one of the homes that burned down. And they were interviewing her standing in the ashes of her smoldering home. And they said, how do you feel about this? And her instant reply without even pondering it was, I know something good will come from this. Can you feel the power in that, right? And you know something good had to come from it. Something good would have come from it anyway, but she had to realize it sooner because she was welcoming the good, yes? The power in non-resistance. So here's about how I write about it in the book. When we're in the experience of appreciating the sacredness in life, we open to a world of unlimited possibilities. Because we are alert to the magic, we notice opportunities that we might otherwise miss. Life becomes filled with a deeper level of peace, meaning, as we recognize every experience as magical and know that each experience leads us to an ever-increasing expression of our soul energy. If or when we are operating from the perspective of our soul, our timeless, infinite existence, we see the larger picture. Asking what there is to be grateful for in any circumstance is an entrance into the sacred. And I ask you intuitively, isn't this quality of radical gratitude something that all of the masters, all the great teachers have possessed, right? Really, I'll say it this way. It's about bringing love to everything. And that sounds cliche, and it sounds like something we all kind of know and practice at some level. But do we really bring love to everything, right? When, gosh, know somebody that just broke their arm. You know, you break your arm. Do you instantly say, oh, something good will come from this? Bring love to it. Surrender into the experience to access that greater thing. Yesterday, just last night, in one of our ceremonies, I might get teary with this, somebody was sharing that they grew up in a third world country, was abandoned by his parents as an infant. At 1 to 2 years old, started to talk and walk, and found himself, was aware of this experience still at 40 years old, that he was starting to walk and covered in feces, left in the street. And this happens quite often in this country for children that are abandoned. And he remembered quite distinctly walking up to people when he learned to speak and saying hi. And he said no one would say hi back because he was this child covered in feces. And he said he was crying through the ceremony, right? that would be difficult to see the magic in, right? And yet, he is now. He's seeing that his healing, his ongoing journey of healing, is giving him the understanding and compassion to be able to heal other people. Powerful, yes? So all of our favorite teachers, I think, are saying the same things in different ways. Byron Katie says, love everything. Eckhart Tolle says, give up resistance to what is. August Gold in the prayer chest says, invite everything. Robert Scheinfeld in Busting Loose from the Money Game says, be appreciative, grateful for everything that comes our way. I just read a book called Existential Kink, who says, the law of attraction people have it half right, because our conscious mind gets what it wants all the time. Or some of the time, our subconscious mind gets what it wants all the time. And so the healing then is to become aware of what our subconscious mind wants and to invite that, to bring love to it. She says to get off on it. That's radical, right? So I want to share a little story about our last retreat on Catalina Island. My lovely wife shared an article from Science of Mind magazine with me. It's about this woman that taught, her whole thing was teaching compassion. She said, if every child had the opportunity to be wheeled around in a wheelchair for a week, then every time they saw another child or another person in a wheelchair for the rest of their life, they would have compassion, right? You can feel that. And so I instantly thought of a friend of mine who's been to 8 of our retreats now. And before the retreat, I think it was 4 or 5 years ago, he had gone in, he had been in a car accident earlier, and he'd gone in for a surgical procedure to cut a nerve in his neck to reduce the pain, and they cut the wrong thing, and he had bleeding on the brain, and he was flatlined for 30 minutes, and woke up several days later, paralyzed completely on the right side of his body. They said he'd never walk again. The next year, he went to the retreat. And we have to walk up. We have to walk 1.5 miles to get to the beach. And he up a mountain and down. We carried him up the mountain. He made it. And so I instantly thought of him and thought, this is an exercise we can do. So we had 25 people, 26 including him, on the beach doing these exercises for 4 days. And the first one that we did is I asked him to describe his journey of healing, everything he went through, which he did. And he talked about crawling on the floor to get to the bathroom and wetting himself because he didn't make it and stumbling around, all the difficulties, right? And then I asked him to act it out non-verbally, which he did. And then I invited the entire tribe for him to just watch, to do our rendition of his dramatization of this challenging healing journey. And he got to sit there and watch. And for the first time, and he never even talked about this much, he felt so seen and heard, right? It was a total game changer for him. And he was on the way back to the boat. He was one of the first people over the mountain into the boat last year. So then what we did, we broke up into groups of 4, and everyone got to do the same exercise, right, with their group. And so I was with three women who I've coached all of them, and normally I would just facilitate and go around to different groups, but I just felt the numbers were right. I just felt right for me to be in a group. And each one of them acted out their child abuse, sexual abuse, and then we got to dramatize it for them, and they got to be seen and heard in a deeper way. And then they acted out my childhood traumas for me. And, you know, I understood. I'd heard these stories before, but I understood their pain at so much deeper a level than ever before, right? So their willingness to go into those dark places, right, to experience the magic that is there was absolutely profound for all of us. The entire tribe came away with this deeper healing understanding. So at this point, I would normally talk about the workshop we're going to do in the afternoon, but I'm going to just do a little poll here since, the storm. How's the rain out there? Looks like it's letting up a little bit. I did treat yesterday for it to blow by easily and effortlessly. So let me just do a poll. What's that? We need the rain, yes. Yes, I meant any damaging storm is what I meant. Thank you. Yes, we do need the rain. This is perfect, right? We can be grateful for it. We can bring love to the storm. How many people out there do you think right now are saying this is a bad thing, we want it to go away, right? Rather than bring love to it. And that's the teaching. I started to say earlier, we can, if I'm afraid something's going to happen, we usually want to get over our fear, right? What if we bring love to the fear? The only way fear or pain or anything heals is to bring love to it. When love comes together with pain or fear or anger or any human experience or emotion, that's how it heals, yes? Okay. So how many people here, if we were offering the most powerful workshop that's ever been offered in the world at 1 o'clock today, how many people would come back? Oh, wow, I guess we're going to do it. If we were offering the second most powerful workshop ever offered, how many? The 10th. No, it's going to be the most powerful. I'm certain of it. Well, then we're going to do it, and we'll fight. I'm sure people from 11:30 will come too. So awesome. I'm excited because I'll do it for sure. I don't want to miss it. All right, so I'll tell you about it. So it's called the Joy Factor, a life of infinite freedom. We're going to do some powerful visioning. Everyone's going to get a vision of their ideal life and create some action steps that will bring them joy this week to do. And we're going to share something that seems completely impractical, but I'll present it in a way that you'll see it's the most practical thing we can do. That is to wake up in the morning, ask what will bring me the most joy to do, and go do that no matter what. Sounds impractical, doesn't it? I'm going to convince you that that's the most practical and best thing that you can ever do for your life, because the most powerful way to increase an inner experience of freedom and joy is to do what brings us joy, because that convinces our unconscious that what we deserve to do what brings us the most joy, to be in joy consistently. And I'm going to share with you a practice that is the most powerful work I do with clients about how to shift from a negative mindset to a positive mindset, no matter how challenging the situation is. So, if you don't have plans, please join us. You will be glad you did. Well, it'll be exciting to be in the eye of the storm, the power there as we're doing this work together. If you do have plans, or if you're afraid of the rain, change them and bring love to the fear. If you absolutely can't change your plans, sign up on our mailing list. Next time we're here, we'll send you a notice so you know we're doing it. All right, one more thing. I just want to share a little story with you about two brothers. One is a cat lover, Bob, and the other is you know this. You're smiling already. You know the punchline. Well, I think I've told it here before. Bob is a cat lover. Ed hates cats. So Bob is going on vacation. He's thinking, I don't know what to do with my cat. I could leave him with my brother Ed, but Ed hates cats. But he's been taking care of our elderly mother for a long time. So I guess if I can trust my mother with Ed, I ought to be able to trust my cat with Ed. So Bob leaves his cat at Ed's, goes off on vacation for 2 weeks, comes back, calls up Ed right away and says, hey, brother, how you doing? How's Mom? And how's my beloved Perky? It's the name of his cat. Ed says, well, I got some bad news for you, brother. Perky died. Oh, Mom's calling, got to go, click. And so Bob is just overwrought with grief about the passing of his cat and the really callous way in which his brother gave him the news. So he mourns the loss, and he calls up his brother a couple days later and says, brother, I got to tell you, it really hurt me the way you gave me the news. And Ed says, well, I don't know how to say it. Your cat's dead. I don't know how else to say it. And Bob says, well, you could have given me the news gradually and gently. You could have said when I called, well, Perky's up on the roof playing. And then you could have called me up and said, hey, Perky fell off the roof and he hurt his leg, but we're doing everything we can. We think he's going to make it. And then when I came in person, you could have delivered the news and said, we did everything we could, brother, but Perky didn't make it. And Ed says, well, okay, brother, I admit, I could have been more compassionate. And Bob says, I forgive you, brother. And so then Bob says, how's Mom doing? And Ed says, Mom's up on the roof playing. So how often are we like Bob? We don't want that bad news, right? The opposite of that is to embrace, right? So the practice for this week is to, every time you feel discomfort of any kind, physical, emotional, mental, anything, ask, what's the magic in this situation? And just watch what happens. One time after giving this lecture, I stubbed my toe in a way that, a shock goes up into your brain. And I said, and sometimes you have a different inflection. What's the magic in this? And instantly I went into a state of bliss. What I say nowadays, over and over, several times a day, whatever we resist not only persists, but magnifies, gets stronger. Whatever we embrace becomes our ally, our teacher, and our healer. Final story. I was lecturing at Asilomar at one of our conferences, and the book had just come out as curriculum, and people were coming up to me and thanking me and saying, this is the best book I've ever read, and thank you for writing this book. And the best compliment I ever got was a very respected minister in our movement put her hands on my shoulder, looked me in the eyes, and said, thank you for writing this book. I was at week 3 in teaching it, and it was all about loving ourselves, not in spite of our human frailties, but because of them. And she said, it was right then that I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And she said, if it was not for that synchronicity, I would have judged myself. I would have, in fact, beat myself up for attracting this experience. And she said, but because of that synchronicity, I had compassion for myself. And I know that I would not have healed as completely or quickly if not for that shift in consciousness, right? So the most important thing I like to always share is loving ourselves unconditionally. I was talking with a client a while back, and this is the phrasing that came to me. When I love myself unconditionally, what I realize is I am not myself. I am in fact the self. I am in fact pure love. And so are you. And so are we. And so it is. Let's do a little prayer here. Take a nice deep healing breath. Let out a big heartful sigh. Let's just take a moment to really feel as we exhale that influx of spirit energy, pure light, pure love, pure grace, pure freedom, pure joy, recognizing that this is who we are. I'm going to give you an opportunity to think of something in your life right now that might be challenging you. And what will it be like in this moment if you give up resistance to it and open up to receive the good that is there, the opportunity for growth, the magic, to bring love to it. Notice how our hearts open, how receptive we become to the good. And let's just feel ourselves filling up with that love that we're giving to the situation as our heart opens up. And as we leave this sanctuary, sharing that love with others. Because we know that this is who we truly are, pure love. And so it is. Amen.
So blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have.
So please join me in saying our affirmative giving statement together. From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper. It is evidence of my faith and belief. It does good work in the world and returns to me multiplied abundantly. Thank you.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Come with me, my friends, and seize the day and live it fully, live it fast. Never thinking once about tomorrow till tomorrow's been and gone and past. We'll pour the wine and fill the cup of joy and drink as if it were the last. Live, just live for life. In Paris today, in Amsterdam tomorrow, 60 minutes through the skies. Fly away to see the setting summer sun and stay awake to see it rise. And say to those who say to live this way is mad, that mad we'd rather be than wise. Live, just live for life. If you let the Spirit lead you through the mystery and wonder of a world you've never known before, share the splendors to be shared, magic places to explore, dare the dangers to be dared. Life is all of this and more, this and more. Yesterday's a memory gone for good forever, and tomorrow is a guess. What is real is what is here and now. The here and now is all that we possess. So take a leap and you will take the moment, if for just the moment's happiness. Live, just live for life. Come with me to where the hills are green and still and filled with flowers to adore. Come with me to where the laughter rings and where there's music never heard before. Yes, come with me, my friends, and live for life, and life will live for you forevermore. Live, just live for life. Live, just live for life. Life, live for life. Yes, yes, yes! Woo! Thank you.
Oh my goodness, fabulous and fabulous, thank you. So let us thank our musicians and our very own fabulous Diane Vincent, our soloist. And a special thank you to Reverend Dr. Patrick. Yes, very inspiring. So now I have some announcements. If this is your first time at our church, we are delighted you're here. Please stop by the welcome table on the patio, it's covered, I believe, to pick up a packet of information just for you. On your bulletin that we hand out when you come in, you will see how to make donations to our church. through our text to give number, QR code, or through our website, which is nhcrs.org/give, G-I-V-E. Prayer with a practitioner is available after service, in person, and on Zoom. If you would like to support the people of Hawaii who have been affected by the recent wildfires, please pick up a flyer on the patio or on our website to see the many ways that you can help. And I believe there's also a flyer in your handout that we gave you. Every Sunday morning at 9:45, our junior church provides spiritual uplift and education to kids from toddler to teen and in between. Wednesday night, the Heart of Healing service with practitioner Suze Webster. The meditation is at 6:50 and the service begins at 7 p.m. Suze's topic this week is, are you recharging your batteries? And hear this announcement. Join Reverend Dr. Patrick Harbula, the great speaker we just heard, today from 1 to 3:30 p.m. for his amazing workshop called The Joy Factor, a life of infinite freedom. We will meet in the junior church. The cost is a love offering. Sign up online, on the patio, or just show up. Bring a sack lunch or eat something beforehand. We have grief support group meeting today in person. This group, facilitated by practitioner Mary Hyland, meets today at 1 p.m. in the Ernest Holmes room, and all are welcome for that. Brunch in the park feeding the homeless was supposed to be today, but it has been canceled, understandably. Save the date. Join Dr. Mark for a trip to Machu Picchu, April 18th through the 26th, 2024. There will be a Zoom. Okay, woo! There will be a Zoom informational call on Tuesday, August 22nd. That's, I believe, this coming Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. Find the Zoom meeting ID on our website or on the patio. Divine Audacity class with Reverend Sidney Steen, 4 Tuesdays starting September 5th on Zoom. Are you ready to activate the gifts of God already residing and alive within you? Join Reverend Sidney for this amazing class based on the book Divine Audacity by Linda Martella Whitsett. The book is available in our bookstore, and the cost for the class is $125. You can sign up again online or on the patio. We have, after service, a Zoom, actually before and after services, Zoom virtual patio today, Sunday, and also on our Wednesday services. Zoom meditation every morning, Monday through Saturday, from 7:55 to 8:15 a.m. And you can visit our website, again, it's NHCRS.org, to obtain Zoom links and more information about all of our events and to sign up for weekly e-blasts and monthly newsletters. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Carol. Okay, well, practitioners who are here, if you'd like to come forward right now to be available to pray, anyone who would like prayer after service, please come forward. These people are to help you shift in consciousness. And with that, let's all rise and sing.
Peace that was meant to be. solemn vow to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
So please repeat after me. I'm at home in the heart of God. My life is anchored in truth. I can never be separate. I live in the consciousness of peace. I release all fear. I am living love. Amen. Thank you again, Reverend Dr. Patrick.